Admiral Claire Martinez stood on the bridge of her flagship and looked out into space where thousands of enemy ships had been just 12 hours ago. Now there was only silence and floating metal pieces. The largest alien fleet in history had come to destroy Earth, but none of their ships would ever return home. The battle had lasted only 4 hours. Claire still could not believe how fast it ended. The aliens brought 3,000 warships from 50 different worlds. They thought humans were weak and easy to defeat. They were very wrong. Lieutenant Amy Brooks walked up to Claire with a datapad in her hands. "Admiral, we have the final count. The enemy lost all 3,000 ships. Our losses are minimal. Only 47 of our ships took any damage and we lost just 300 people." Claire took the datapad and read the numbers again. She had ordered the attack that destroyed an entire fleet. The weight of that decision pressed down on her shoulders like a heavy stone. These were not just ships but homes to millions of alien beings. Most of them were now dead on. The observation deck Lirelay Moonwhisper pressed her pale hands against the viewing window. The elf had been sent by her people to watch the battle and report back to the Elven Council. She had lived for over 200 years and seen many wars, but nothing like this. The human weapons had been beyond anything she could imagine. Their ships moved like dancing flames through space, while alien vessels exploded around them like fireworks. The humans had not just one, they had completely destroyed their enemies without breaking. A sweat captain, Lisa Thompson, entered the observation deck, still wearing her combat uniform. Her brown hair was messy from Mars inside a helmet, and her green eyes showed the exhaustion of battle. She had led the first attack wave that broke through the alien frontline. Lirelay turned to face the human captain. "Your people fight like demons from the old stories," she said in her musical voice. "How did you develop such terrible weapons?" Lisa sat down on a nearby bench and rubbed her tired eyes. "We had to. The aliens were coming to kill every human on Earth. We could not let that happen. But 3,000 ships," Lirelay whispered. "Your fleet was only 600 vessels. How is such a victory possible?" Lisa looked out at the debris field that stretched for thousands of kilometers. The human ships moved between the wreckage like scavengers, picking through bones. Some were rescuing alien survivors while others collected technology and data. "We adapt faster than other species," Lisa said. "We learn from every battle and make our weapons better." The aliens thought we were still using old technology from 50 years ago. They did not know about our new plasma cannons or quantum torpedoes. Down in the medical bay, Dr. Amanda Foster worked with alien survivors. The few hundred aliens who escaped the destruction were badly injured and in shock. Many of them kept asking the same question over and over: how did the humans win so easily? Amanda had been studying alien technology for years, but now she had access to their most advanced systems. The escape pods contained computer cores with detailed information about alien science and military tactics. This data would help humanity prepare for future conflicts. Commander Kate Sullivan sat in the intelligence center listening to radio messages from across the galaxy. Alien worlds were receiving news of the defeat, and their responses ranged from shock to terror. Some planets were already sending messages asking for peace. Treaties Gate recorded every transmission for later analysis. The political situation in the galaxy would change completely after this battle. Humanity had gone from being seen as a minor species to the most feared military force in known spacing. One of the holding cells, Zixtara, the only surviving alien fleet commander, sat with her head in her hands. She had been so confident when the invasion began. Her people had spent years planning the attack. They studied human weaknesses and prepared for every possible defense except the one they actually faced. Said 6. Thara remembered the moment when human ships appeared on her sensors. They looked small and primitive compared to her mighty dreadnoughts. But then, the shooting started, and her fleet began dying faster than she could give orders. The human weapons cut through alien shields like they were made of paper. Their ships moved in perfect coordination, while her forces fell into chaos. Within 2 hours, half her fleet was gone, and the rest were trying to escape. She was a prisoner on a human ship, waiting to learn her fate. The humans had not mistreated her, but they also had not told her what they planned to do with surviving aliens. Claire Martinez walked through the corridors of her ship, thinking about what came next. The aliens had attacked Earth with the intention of enslaving or destroying humanity. That could not be forgiven, but the scale of their victory created new problems. Other alien species would now see humanity as a threat. Some might try to form new alliances against Earth, while others would seek to become allies for protection. The galaxy was about to become a much more dangerous place. Dr. Foster appeared beside Claire in the hallway. Admiral, I need to show you something important. We found data in the alien computers that explains why they attacked us. Claire followed Amanda to her laboratory where dozens of alien devices were being analyzed. The doctor pulled up a holographic display showing star charts and military plans. According to these files, the aliens were not just planning to defeat us. They wanted to completely wipe out humanity and take our worlds for themselves. This was meant to be a war of extermination. Claire studied the plans with growing anger. The aliens had marked every human colony for destruction. They planned to use biological weapons to kill civilians and turn Earth into an alien settlement. The battle had not just been about conquest, but survival now. The implications of their victory became clearer. Humanity had destroyed a fleet that came to commit genocide. The aliens had forced this outcome. Through their own actions, they chose war and received exactly what they brought. Lisa Thompson returned to the bridge after checking on her squadron. Her pilots were tired, but proud. They had fought against impossible odds and won through skill and courage. Many of them were young officers who had never seen real combat before. Today, the debris field was slowly being cleared by recovery ships. Human engineers were already studying alien technology and finding ways to improve their own systems. Each destroyed enemy vessel provided new knowledge that would make humanity stronger. Lorelli Moonwhisper sent her report to the Elven Council using quantum communications. The message would reach her homeworld in just a few hours and change everything. Her people thought they knew about humans. She described the battle in detail and included recordings of the human weapons in action. The Elven Council would need to decide quickly whether to strengthen ties with humanity or maintain their traditional distance from younger species. The silence of space around the former battle zone was broken only by the sounds of human ships at work. Recovery operations would continue for weeks as every piece of alien technology was collected and studied. The victory was complete, but the consequences were just beginning. Admiral Claire Martinez stood at her command station and thought about the future. Humanity had proven they could defend themselves against any threat, but they had also shown the galaxy how dangerous they could be when forced to fight. The alien fleet had come to destroy Earth and found something they never expected. Humans who refused to surrender and possessed weapons beyond their understanding. Now, the galaxy would have to learn to live with a new dominant power. The debris field sparkled in the light from nearby stars, like a monument to alien overconfidence and human determination. 3,000 ships had come to end humanity, but instead, they became the foundation for a new chapter in galactic history. 3 days after the great battle, news traveled across the galaxy like wildfire through dry grass. Captain Lisa Thompson guided her rescue ship through the massive debris field, searching for more alien survivors. Her crew had already found dozens of escape pods hidden among the wreckage. Each pod contained frightened aliens who could barely believe they were still alive. Lisa made sure her people treated the survivors with care, even though these same beings had come to destroy humanity. The captain understood that mercy after victory was what separated civilized people from monsters. In the medical bay, alien survivors told their stories to human doctors. Most of them had been ordinary soldiers, following orders from their leaders. They spoke of families back home and dreams that would never come true now. The reality of war was always more complex than the simple story of good versus evil. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, emergency sessions were taking place in alien government centers. Species that had supported the invasion now faced a terrible choice. They could continue opposing humanity and risk the same fate as the invasion fleet, or they could seek peace with the new galactic superpower on the world of Keth Prime, the alien. High Council met in their crystal chambers for the first time in 50 years. Representatives from dozens of species argued loudly about what to do next. Some wanted to gather more fleets and attack Earth again, while others demanded immediate surrender. Nari crouched in the shadows above the council chamber, listening to every word. The skilled spy had been working against humanity for years, but now she wondered if she had chosen the wrong side. Her people had told her that humans were weak and primitive, but the battle results suggested otherwise. The spy watched as council members received more reports from the battle zone. Each new piece of information made the situation look worse for the alien alliance. Human ships were not just collecting debris but actively hunting down any remaining enemy vessels in nearby systems. Back at the battle site, Sylvana Starweaver arrived with a small fleet of elven ships. The military strategist had been sent by her people to assess the situation and determine if the elves needed to change their relationship with humanity. Sylvana was known throughout elven space as one of their greatest tactical minds. She had studied every major battle in galactic history and thought she understood the limits of military power, but the destruction before her eyes challenged everything she believed. The elven ships moved carefully through the debris field while their sensors recorded everything. Sylvana wanted to understand exactly how the humans had achieved such a complete victory. The data would be crucial for future elven military planning. Duramanda Foster worked in her expanded laboratory studying alien technology with the help of captured computer cores. The human scientist was amazed by some of the advanced systems she found, but also disappointed by how poorly they had been used in battle. The aliens had focused on building bigger ships with more armor instead of developing better weapons and tactics. Their military thinking was hundreds of years behind human doctrine. They had brought museum pieces to fight against cutting-edge warships. Commander Kate Sullivan monitored communications across the galaxy from her intelligence center. The human officer was tracking political changes as alien governments struggled to respond to the new reality. Some species were already withdrawing from anti-human alliances. Kate intercepted a message from the Zentari Empire announcing their immediate neutrality in all conflicts involving humanity. The Zentari had contributed 200 ships to the invasion fleet, and now they were desperately trying to avoid retaliation. Similar messages came from other alien governments. As fear spread through their leadership, the humans had destroyed 3,000 ships in a single battle and shown no signs of taking heavy losses themselves. What could they do if they decided to attack alien homeworlds in Earth? The human government was dealing with their own challenges. The complete victory had been unexpected, and now they needed to decide how to use their new position of strength. Some officials wanted to demand tribute from former enemies, while others preferred diplomatic solutions. Admiral Claire Martinez attended emergency meetings with political leaders who were trying to understand the military situation. Most of them had expected a long, difficult war against the alien coalition. Instead, they faced the problems that came with overwhelming victory. The Admiral explained that humanity now have access to advanced alien technology that could improve their ships and weapons even further. The enemy fleet had brought gifts in the form of new scientific knowledge that would benefit human civilization for generations. Lorelli received urgent messages from the Elven Council asking for more detailed reports about human capabilities. Her people were reconsidering their traditional policy of avoiding involvement in galactic politics. The rise of human power changed everything. Elf spent hours writing detailed analyses of human military tactics and technology. She described how human ships moved with impossible coordination and how their weapons seemed to target enemy weak points with perfect accuracy. Back in the debris field, recovery operations continued around the clock. Human engineers were especially interested in alien power systems and shield generators. The enemy technology was not better than human designs, but it used different approaches that could inspire new innovations. Lisa Thompson discovered something disturbing while interviewing alien survivors. Several of them mentioned secret research facilities where their scientists had been developing biological weapons specifically designed to kill humans. The captain immediately reported this information to intelligence services, who began tracking down the locations of these facilities. The aliens had not just planned military conquest, but biological warfare against human civilian ships. Thera, the captured alien commander, was brought before a human military tribunal to answer questions about war crimes. The proud officer had to admit that her people had planned to use illegal weapons against defenseless populations. During her testimony, Zixtera revealed the full scope of alien planning. The invasion fleet had been just the first wave, followed by occupation forces, and finally, biological weapons, to eliminate any remaining human resistance. This information changed how many humans viewed the battle. They had not just defeated an invasion, but prevented a genocide. The complete destruction of the alien fleet began to seem like justice rather than excessive force. Nari made a dangerous decision while listening to more council debates. The alien spy realized that her own people were planning another attack. Despite the obvious futility, she decided to contact human intelligence services with crucial information. The spy sent encrypted messages to Commander Kate Sullivan warning about secret weapons depots and hidden fleet bases. The aliens were preparing for a longer war, and humans needed to know about these threats. Sylvana Starweaver completed her analysis of the battle and prepared to return to Elven space. Her report would recommend immediate diplomatic contact with humanity and possible military cooperation. The elves could no longer ignore the new galactic reality Dar Foster made. Breakthrough discoveries while studying alien computer systems. She found evidence of other species that the alien coalition had conquered or destroyed in the past. Humanity was not their first target for genocide. Research revealed a pattern of alien aggression stretching back thousands of years. The coalition had grown powerful by destroying smaller civilizations and taking their resources. Earth had simply been their latest intended victim. Admiral Martinez realized that the implications of their victory extended far beyond simple self-defense. Humanity had broken the power of a force that had been terrorizing the galaxy for millennia. Other species might see them as liberators rather than conquerors. The debris field continued to yield surprises as human teams found escape pods containing not just alien survivors, but also prisoners from other species. The coalition had been transporting slaves and captured soldiers to help with the invasion of Earth. These discoveries changed the moral calculation of the battle even further. The alien fleet had not just threatened humanity, but represented an ongoing threat to galactic freedom. Their destruction removed a cancer that had been growing for thousands of years. As the third day ended, Admiral Martinez stood on her bridge, looking out at the work crews still laboring. Among the wreckage, the battle was over, but its consequences were just beginning to unfold across the galaxy. Political alliances were shifting as species rushed to distance themselves from the defeated coalition, while others sought protection from human retaliation. The old order was collapsing, and something new would have to take its place. The silence that had followed the battle was being replaced by the sounds of change as civilizations across the galaxy adapted to a new reality where humanity stood at the center of galactic power. 2 weeks after the Great Battle, Admiral Claire Martinez made a decision that would change galactic history. She ordered human fleets to leave Earth and hunt down the leaders who had planned the genocide. The hunters had become the hunted, and nowhere in the galaxy was safe for war criminals. The first target was the Korvac homeworld, where the invasion had been planned. Human ships appeared in their system without warning, using new stealth technology that made detection almost impossible. The planet leaders received a simple message: surrender the war planners, or face the consequences. Arya Nightbreeze volunteered to serve as liaison between the human fleet and any aliens who wanted to cooperate. The young elf was fascinated by human tactical thinking and wanted to learn from their methods. Her people had approved her assignment, hoping to gain valuable intelligence. Captain Lisa Thompson led a squadron of stealth ships that could move through space like ghosts. The new technology came from studying alien sensors and finding ways to defeat them. Human engineers had improved their own designs beyond anything the enemy could imagine. On the bridge of her flagship, Lisa watched as Korvac ships tried desperately to locate the human fleet. Their sensors showed empty space, even when human vessels passed within kilometers of their positions. The Korvac government sent frantic messages across all frequencies begging for mercy. They offered to surrender anyone the humans wanted, but claimed they did not know where the invasion leaders were hiding. Amanda Foster worked in her mobile laboratory aboard one of the assault ships. Her job was to analyze alien technology in real time and find weaknesses that could be exploited. She had already discovered flaws in Korvac shield systems that would make their defenses useless. Commander Kate Sullivan monitored communications from dozens of star systems. As word spread about the human offensive, many alien governments were ordering their fleets to avoid any contact with human ships, while others were actively hunting for war criminals to hand over. The psychological effect was exactly what Admiral Martinez had hoped for. Fear was spreading faster than human ships could travel, and alien leaders were turning against each other in desperation to avoid being targeted. In the second day of the offensive, a new player arrived in Korvac space. Keth Mira came as an emergency ambassador, representing several allied species that wanted to negotiate peace. She had been chosen because she understood human culture better than most aliens. Keth Mira requested permission to come aboard the human flagship to discuss terms. Admiral Martinez agreed to the meeting, but made it clear that surrender of war criminals was not negotiable. During the meeting, Keth Mira explained that many alien species had been forced to join the coalition through threats and intimidation. The leaders had promised easy victory against a weak enemy, and most populations had believed the propaganda. Admiral Martinez listened carefully, but remained firm in her demands. Justice required that those responsible for planning genocide face consequences. The human people would not accept anything less than complete accountability. Meanwhile, Velnari was providing crucial intelligence to human forces from her position deep within alien territory. The spy had switched sides completely, and was now working to prevent further bloodshed by exposing hidden military assets. Her information led human teams to secret weapons depots and hidden fleet bases across multiple star systems. Each discovery prevented future attacks and showed other aliens that resistance was hopeless. Arya Nightbreeze observed human military operations with growing amazement. The humans did not simply destroy everything in their path, but used precise strikes to eliminate specific targets while sparing civilian populations. She watched as human marines captured alien military facilities with minimal casualties on both sides. The operations were planned with mathematical precision and executed with professional efficiency that impressed even Elven military observers. Dr. Foster made another breakthrough while analyzing captured alien computers. She discovered the locations of biological weapons laboratories where scientists had been developing diseases specifically designed to kill humans. This information was immediately passed to strike teams who moved quickly to secure these facilities. The discovery of actual genocide weapons proved that the human response was justified defense rather than aggressive expansion. In the fifth day of operations, Lisa Thompson received orders to demonstrate human stealth capabilities to any aliens who might be watching. Her squadron performed a complex maneuver that involved appearing and disappearing around multiple Korvac installations. The demonstration had the desired effect. Korvac leaders realized that human ships could strike anywhere at any time without warning. The psychological pressure broke their resistance, and they agreed to cooperate fully. Smile. Demonstrations occurred in other systems as human forces showed their ability to project power across vast distances. The old alien strategy of hiding behind space and distance was no longer effective. Admiral Martinez established a pattern for dealing with conquered systems. Leaders who cooperated and provided information about war criminals were treated with respect, while those who resisted faced immediate Military action. This approach encouraged voluntary surrender and reduced the need for destructive battles. Most alien governments quickly decided that cooperation was preferable to resistance against an enemy they could not defeat. 6. Thora was brought to several captured worlds to identify war criminals from her knowledge of the coalition. Leadership, her cooperation, earned her better treatment and the possibility of eventual freedom. The former fleet commander had accepted that her people had chosen the wrong path and now wanted to prevent further suffering. She provided detailed information about military installations and hidden assets across Alien Space Commander. Kate Sullivan coordinated intelligence gathering from multiple sources as human forces advanced deeper into former enemy territory. The amount of information being collected was enormous and required new systems to process effectively. Captured facility revealed more evidence of alien war crimes, including plans for enslaving human populations and using Earth as a breeding ground for alien colonies. The invasion had been intended as complete species replacement. These discoveries helped justify human actions to neutral species who had been uncertain about the offensive. Many aliens began to see humans as liberators rather than conquerors when the full scope of coalition crimes became known. Dr. Foster developed new weapon systems based on captured alien technology, but with improvements that made them far more effective. The aliens had built defensive systems, assuming human weapons would remain primitive. Now, human ships carried weapons that could penetrate any known alien defense, while their own shields had been upgraded using principles learned from enemy technology. The technological advantage was growing rather than shrinking. Sylvana Starweaver submitted her final report to the Elven Council, recommending immediate alliance with humanity. Her analysis showed that the humans had achieved something unprecedented in galactic history: complete tactical and technological dominance. The Elven military began secret negotiations with human officials about possible cooperation against remaining threats. Both species recognized that the galaxy was entering a new era that would require unprecedented cooperation. By the end of the second week, human forces had captured or destroyed most major alien military installations. The coalition that had threatened Earth was broken beyond repair, and its leaders were either dead or in custody. Admiral Martinez stood on the bridge of her flagship looking at star charts that showed human forces spread across dozens of systems. The offensive had succeeded beyond all expectations and established humanity as the dominant galactic power. But with great power came great responsibility. The humans now controlled vast territories and populations that looked to them for leadership. The easy part was over, and the real work of building a new galactic order was about to begin. Arya Nightbreeze prepared her report for the Elven Council, describing everything she had learned about human military capabilities her people would need this information to navigate the new galactic reality. The young elf had gained deep respect for human efficiency and determination, but also saw the potential dangers of such concentrated power. The galaxy would need careful diplomacy to prevent human dominance from becoming human tyranny. As the third week began, Admiral Martinez received reports of a new threat approaching from outside the galaxy. Massive ships had been detected moving toward local space, carrying unknown aliens with technology that might challenge even human capabilities. The successful offensive against the coalition had solved one problem, but created another. The galaxy was about to face its greatest test, and former enemies would need to become allies if any species was going to survive. 6 weeks after the Great Battle, long-range sensors detected something that changed everything. Admiral Claire Martinez studied the data reports with growing concern. Massive ships were approaching from outside the galaxy, and their technology readings showed power levels beyond anything previously encountered. The extragalactic vessels were still months away, but their size and energy signatures suggested a threat that could challenge even human military superiority. Early scans indicated ships larger than entire human space stations carrying weapons of unknown design. Dazoon, Amanda, Foster worked frantically to analyze the sensor data in her expanded research facility. The approaching ships used energy patterns that did not match any known galactic technology. They represented something completely new and potentially very dangerous. Former enemies suddenly found themselves facing a common threat that made their previous conflicts seem trivial. Zixtara was brought before Admiral Martinez to provide information about deep space monitoring systems that might reveal more about the approaching force. The alien commander had spent decades studying galactic defenses and knew the locations of sensor arrays in neutral space. Her knowledge could help determine the true capabilities of the extragalactic ships. During their meeting, Zixtara made a proposal that surprised everyone. She offered to help coordinate alien forces in defense against the new threat in exchange for clemency for her people who had been following orders. Admiral Martinez considered the offer carefully. The approaching enemy appeared powerful enough to threaten all galactic civilizations, and humanity would need every possible ally in the coming conflict. Sylvana Starweaver arrived at the Human Command Center with authorization from the Elven Council to negotiate a formal military alliance. The elves had decided that their survival might depend on cooperation with humanity against the external threat. Elven strategist brought detailed analysis of the approaching ships based on long-range sensor data collected by Elven deep space monitors. Her people had been tracking the intruders for weeks and had disturbing conclusions about their intentions. Two Elven calculations. The extragalactic force consisted of over 10,000 ships organized in formations that suggested military rather than exploratory purposes. They were clearly an invasion fleet seeking new territories to conquer. Lisa Thompson began working with alien officers to develop joint training programs for mixed species squadrons. The cultural differences were enormous, but the threat level demanded unprecedented cooperation between former enemies. Human pilots had to learn to work with alien technology, while alien crews struggled to adapt to human tactical doctrine. The training sessions were difficult and sometimes resulted in misunderstandings, but gradually progress was made. Commander Kate Sullivan established communication networks between human intelligence services and alien information systems. The cooperation revealed threats that no single species had detected. Working alone, hidden weapons caches and secret research facilities were discovered throughout the galaxy as former enemies shared intelligence freely. Many of these installations could provide valuable resources for the coming war. Araya Nightbreeze became a key figure in interspecies military coordination. The young elf had natural diplomatic skills that helped bridge cultural gaps between humans and various alien species. She discovered that many alien military traditions included concepts that humans found useful, while human innovations impressed alien observers. Military exchange programs began developing new hybrid tactical approaches. Dr. Foster worked with alien scientists for the first time in her career, combining human research methods with alien theoretical knowledge. The collaboration produced technological advances that neither species could achieve alone. Joint research projects focused on developing new weapons and defenses based on analysis of the approaching threat. The extragalactic ships appeared to use energy shields and weapons that operated on principles unknown to local civilizations. Nari emerged from hiding to offer her intelligence network to the Alliance. Her spy organization had contacts throughout the galaxy that could provide crucial information about hidden resources and potential threats. That alien spy had completely switched sides and now worked openly with human intelligence services. Her knowledge of secret alien facilities and hidden technologies proved valuable for Alliance planning. Sylvana Starweaver proposed a unified command structure that would coordinate forces from multiple species under human leadership. The elves recognized that human military doctrine had proven most effective against large-scale threats. The proposal met resistance from some alien governments who feared human domination, but the approaching crisis left little choice. Species that refused to cooperate would face the extragalactic threat. Alone, Admiral Martinez accepted command of the Alliance forces. but insisted on including representatives from all member species in strategic planning. The diversity of perspectives and capabilities would strengthen the overall defense. Joint training exercises began in earnest as the Alliance worked to integrate different military traditions and technologies. Human efficiency, combined with elven precision and alien specialized capabilities, created new possibilities. Der Foster made breakthrough discoveries while studying captured extragalactic technology from border skirmishes. The approaching enemy used quantum-based weapons that could ignore conventional shields and armor. This information led to crash programs developing new defensive systems. Based on principles learned from studying the alien technology, human engineers worked around the clock to upgrade Alliance shipships. Thera proved her value by providing detailed knowledge of galactic defense networks and military installations. Her cooperation helped identify strategic positions that could be fortified against the coming invasion. Former enemy commander gradually earned respect from human officers through her professionalism and tactical expertise. Her people began seeing cooperation as honorable rather than shameful surrender. Aria Nightbreeze coordinated cultural exchange programs that helped Alliance personnel understand each other better. Misunderstandings based on different communication styles and social customs were gradually resolved. The young elf discovered that combat effectiveness improved dramatically when mixed species crews learned to appreciate each other's strengths rather than focusing on differences. Lisa Thompson commanded the first fully integrated squadron with human, elven, and alien crews working together. The initial missions were training exercises, but they demonstrated the potential of true cooperation. Her pilots reported that mixed crews performed better than single-species units in complex scenarios. The diversity of thinking and problem-solving approaches created tactical advantages that surprised everyone. Commander Sullivan tracked political developments across the galaxy as news of the Alliance spread. Some neutral species requested membership, while others attempted to remain isolated from the coming conflict. Reports suggested that the extragalactic invaders had conquered other galaxies. Before arriving in local space, the approaching fleet represented the advance forces of a much larger empire. Dr. Foster analysis of captured technology revealed disturbing information about extragalactic military capabilities. Their weapons could destroy planets, and their ships carried enough troops to occupy entire star systems. This information was shared with Alliance leadership and prompted urgent discussions about evacuation plans and fallback positions. The coming war would determine the survival of all galactic civilizations. Admiral Martinez realized that the Alliance would need to think beyond simple military victory. The extragalactic empire appeared to have vast resources and unlimited willingness to commit forces to conquest. Defensive strategies alone would not be sufficient. The Alliance would need to strike at the source of the threat and convince the invaders that conquest of the galaxy would be too costly to pursue. Sylvana Starweaver proposed using hit-and-run tactics to delay the invasion while Alliance forces prepared for major battles. The Elven strategy emphasized mobility and surprise rather than direct confrontation. With human firepower and alien specialized capabilities, this approach might give the Alliance advantages that could offset the enemy. Numerical superiority's preparations intensified. The former enemies discovered that their differences in culture and technology were actually strengths. When properly coordinated, each species brought unique capabilities to the Alliance. The approaching crisis had forced rapid evolution in galactic politics and military cooperation. Former enemies were becoming trusted allies, united by the need to survive against an external threat. Thera worked closely with human strategists to plan defensive positions throughout the galaxy. Her knowledge of alien military capabilities helped identify the best uses for each species forces. The cooperation that emerged from necessity was gradually becoming genuine partnership as different species learned to value each other's contributions to the common defense. Admiral Martinez knew that the Alliance faced unprecedented challenges, but she also recognized that the crisis had created opportunities for lasting peace and cooperation. Between galactic civilizations, the approaching storm would test everything they had built. But it had already proven that former enemies could become allies when survival demanded unity. 3 months after the original battle, the extragalactic invasion fleet finally reached local space. Admiral Claire Martinez stood before the largest gathering of military leaders in galactic history. Representatives from dozens of species filled the command center of her flagship, united in purpose. For the first time, the enemy force was even larger than initial estimates suggested. Over 15,000 ships of unknown design approached the galaxy carrying weapons that could destroy entire worlds. Their advanced scouts had already eliminated several outer colonies. Dr. Amanda Foster presented her final analysis of extragalactic technology to the assembled commanders. The enemy ships used quantum disruption weapons that could tear apart matter at the atomic level. Their shields operated on principles that made conventional attacks nearly useless, but human ingenuity combined with alien knowledge had produced countermeasures. The Alliance fleet carried hybrid weapon systems that combined the best technology from every member species. Each ship represented the pinnacle of cooperative engineering. Captain Lisa Thompson commanded the largest mixed-species squadron ever assembled. Human, elven, and alien crews worked together with efficiency that would have been impossible just months earlier. The cultural barriers had been replaced by mutual respect and shared purpose. Sylvana Starweaver coordinated overall fleet movements using elven precision combined with human tactical doctrine and alien specialized knowledge. The strategy emphasized mobility and concentrated firepower rather than traditional battle line tactics. The first engagement occurred at the edge of the galaxy as advance elements of both fleets made contact. Alliance scouts reported that the extragalactic ships moved in perfect formation and showed no interest in communication or negotiation. Admiral Martinez gave the order to engage, knowing that the survival of galactic civilization depended on the outcome. The Alliance fleet moved forward in coordinated waves designed to maximize their technological advantages. Arya Nightbreeze served as communications coordinator, ensuring that orders reached every ship regardless of species or language barriers. Her diplomatic training proved invaluable for maintaining coordination during the chaos of battle. The opening exchanges revealed both strengths and weaknesses on both sides. Alliance weapons proved effective against enemy shields, but the extragalactic fleet possessed superior numbers and individual ship firepower. Zixthara commanded a squadron of reformed alien vessels whose crews fought with determination to redeem their species' honor. Her ships used suicide tactics to break enemy formations, allowing Alliance forces to exploit the gap. Foster real-time analysis of battle data revealed patterns in enemy behavior that could be exploited. The extragalactic forces relied heavily on automated systems that followed predictable patterns. Once their programming was understood, human pilots adapted quickly to exploit these weaknesses, while alien crews provided specialized capabilities that proved crucial in specific situations. The diversity of the Alliance became its greatest strength. Kate Sullivan coordinated intelligence gathering from across the battle zone. Her teams identified command ships and priority targets that could disrupt enemy coordination. Alliance forces focused their attacks on these critical vessels. The battle raged for days across multiple star systems as both fleets maneuvered for advantage. The extragalactic invaders proved to be formidable opponents, but they had not expected the level of cooperation achieved by the Alliance. Lisa Thompson led a desperate assault on the enemy flagship, using a combination of human stealth technology and alien specialized weapons. The mission succeeded, but at terrible cost, as many ships were lost breaking through enemy defenses. Sylvana Starweaver sacrificed her own vessel to provide targeting data for the final assault on the extragalactic command center. Her actions allowed Alliance forces to destroy the enemy leadership and break their coordination with their command structure. Disrupted the extragalactic fleet began to falter. Alliance forces pressed their advantage, using everything they had learned about enemy weaknesses to maximize damage area. Nightbreeze broadcast surrender terms in multiple languages as enemy ships began to withdraw. The young elf had become the voice of the Alliance, and her words carried authority that surprised even veteran diplomats. Dyer Foster. Analysis of captured enemy technology revealed that the extragalactic empire was not invincible. They had conquered other galaxies through superior technology and numbers, but had never faced united resistance. The Alliance victory sent shockwaves through the extragalactic command structure. Intelligence intercepts suggested that other invasion fleets were being recalled to defend the Empire core worlds. Admiral Martinez realized that the Alliance had achieved something unprecedented. They had not just defended their galaxy, but had proven that cooperation could overcome any threat, regardless of size or technological advantage. The aftermath of the battle saw former enemies working together to rebuild damaged colonies and integrate new technologies. Alliance engineers combined human innovation with alien expertise to create advances that benefited all species. Thara was granted full pardons for her people actions during the original invasion. Her leadership during the final battle had proven that redemption was possible even after terrible mistakes. The alien commander became an advocate for continued Alliance cooperation, arguing that the unity forged in crisis should be maintained to prevent future conflicts. Lisa Thompson accepted command of the new Galactic Defense Force, a permanent organization dedicated to protecting all Alliance member species. The diverse fleet represented a new model for interspecies cooperations. Fulvana Starweaver was posthumously honored by all Alliance species for her sacrifice during the final battle. Her tactical innovations became standard doctrine for the combined fleet. Arya Nightbreeze established the Interspecies Council, a diplomatic organization dedicated to maintaining peace and cooperation between Alliance members. Her work helped prevent the old conflicts from resurging. Dar Foster continued her research into captured extragalactic technology, discovering principles that could revolutionize energy production and space travel. The Alliance would emerge from the crisis stronger than any individual species had been before. Commander Sullivan became head of Alliance Intelligence Services, working to detect and prevent future external threats. Her network spanned the entire galaxy, ensuring that no enemy could approach undetected. The Alliance victory had consequences beyond simple military success. The cooperation required to defeat the extragalactic threat had created lasting bonds between species that had been enemies for generations. Trade networks expanded as former enemies became trading partners. Scientific cooperation accelerated technological development, while cultural exchanges enriched all member civilizations. Admiral Martinez reflected on how much had changed since the original battle against the 3,000-ship fleet. That victory had established human military superiority, but the Alliance victory had created something more valuable. The galaxy now possessed a framework for lasting peace based on mutual respect and shared defense against external threats. The unity forged in battle had become the foundation for a new galactic order. Former colonies that had been isolated for generations joined the Alliance, seeking protection and participation in the new cooperative framework. The success of the model attracted species from across the galaxy. The extragalactic threat had been defeated, but its legacy was a galaxy united in purpose rather than divided by ancient rivalries. The Alliance had proven that cooperation was not just possible but essential for survivors. Later historians would mark the extragalactic war as the turning point when galactic civilization matured from a collection of competing species into a true community of mutual support and shared destiny. The debris fields from both battles became monuments to the price of unity and the cost of division. Future generations would remember that their peaceful galaxy had been won through courage and cooperation. Admiral Martinez stood on the bridge of her flagship, looking out at Alliance ships from dozens of species conducting joint exercises. The sight reminded her that the greatest victory had not been defeating enemies, but creating lasting friends. The galaxy faced an uncertain future, but it would face that future together with the strength that came from unity, and the wisdom that came from understanding that cooperation was more powerful than any weapon in the end. The Alliance had achieved something that neither humans nor any other species could have accomplished alone. They had created a galactic civilization based on mutual respect, rather than domination through force. The silent space, where 3,000 enemy ships had once threatened Earth, had become the birthplace of an alliance that would endure for generations, protecting the galaxy against any threat that might emerge from the darkness between stars.